It's a 3-speed winch, so if you push the button down and go to starboard, this one didn't get serviced in the yard because it was holding something. It's 3rd gear, and then 2nd, it pops out, and then back to 1st, like that. So to disengage, this is the little bit of a tricky one. When you put it back into the jammer, you've got to give it quite a sharp tug up. Then you can just give it a little test there. In fact, I think the squeak's coming from the shaft, isn't it? It's a link them together. This one here will link the pedestals together. So that obviously the danger with that is if people aren't ready and someone starts to turn the winch, then the handles will come around and hit someone in the face or their forearms as well. So to disengage the link, pull that one up, and then there's a string at the back here to do the main sheet as well. So when we're doing the grinder, just to alleviate that, if we're going especially with 4, it'll be hands on the grinder, ready to grind, ready, and then grind. If you come off the winch, just hands off and step back from it. Don't try and rejoin it. I'll say stop grinding, hands on, and grind again. One of our crew members on leg 1 got a little bit enthusiastic. It was a nighttime manoeuvre, and I saw him the next day. I'm like, what happened to you? He had blood all over his face. And he goes, I was a bit enthusiastic with the grinder last night, and he went down and he smacked himself in his own face.
Oh God, so close!
Alright, the snail landing just started to move. Feel a little bit foreign up there. Come back to your main seat though. Sweating now, Val?
Yeah, I can stop grinding for a minute. Stop grinding?
Chris, can you tell us something about the boat, what the design is?
Yeah, it's a Tony Castro custom design, specifically designed with Sir Rowan Knox Johnson for the Clipper around the World Yacht Race. He's designed the last generation of boats, the 68s as well, so they went for a more modern, racy, ocean racing design this time, and this is the result of that.
And how many crew do you carry?
We can carry up to 23 crew, plus myself, so 24 capacity. And we normally sail with about between 20 and 22 crew, so we've got watches of 10 or 11 on each watch.
So how have you been going so far in the race?
So far, we haven't been going too badly so far. We've just completed, I think it's race 6. So the first leg Sorry, it was the UK to France to Brazil, and we did very well in that one. We had a 5th to Brest in Brittany. Then we won the race to Rio, so we're pretty happy with our results there. Then I think we had an 8th. And then a 9th into Albany, which was a bit disappointing because we were geared up for a 5th, and we found a really big wind hole about 100 miles off the coast, and a few of them got through us. But and then unfortunately on this last race for my homecoming, this is the one I really wanted to win. We had an incident at the start of the race at the Windward Mark where there was a collision with one of the other yachts. So then we had to go back to port and fix the boat for 36 hours before then restarting our race. So we were 12th on line honours. We were the 4th fastest boat though with the elapsed time, but with the committee hearing going in our favour, we got an average of each of our race points up to date. So luckily we've performed being fairly well in our race results. So now we're 4th overall.
So what do you see as far as the Hobart race is concerned, as far as the Clipper yachts are concerned? Are you all taking this very seriously, or is it...
Yeah, absolutely, and there's one other skipper that's done it, and there's, well, all the skippers have always heard about this race. Most of them are from the UK, so they've got their fast set. We've got our Sydney Hobart, and so they're all really keen, the whole fleet is really keen to make a good impression, and for Sir Robert Knox Johnson to have you know, the compensations and everything with the CYC Yacht Club to get us into this year's race. Just excellent, it's fantastic.
So how many are you taking down? How much from the crew?
We've got a crew of 21. Yeah.
Are they all payers, or?
Yeah, we've got everyone's paid, and we're also taking a couple of media berths down as well for some media people from Australian TV. So yeah, it's going to be good. Looking forward to it. The difference between the 68s and the 70s, they're nearly the same beam. It's just these look a lot beamier because our beam continues to the back. But the idea of these boats was to have the fast planing downwind sailboats, and when we're off the breeze, these boats have proven to be a lot faster. I think every boat that's won a leg over these large distances has always been averaging up around 10.8 knots for that 5,000 mile race. So the planing conditions, you know, we're up constantly in the low to mid 20s, and on the big waves we can surf down high 20s, early 30s. So that's the big difference there. Upwind, just due to the wide design and everything, we're not as good upwind as the old 68s were. So with this up and coming instalment, there's 2 Clipper 68s doing the race. One of them has Sir Robert Knox Johnson on there as well, and my sister as well. So we've got a bit of a rivalry with that boat. We need to really put some miles on those guys in the early part of the race, downwind, because we know when it goes upwind that they're going to be they're going to hunt us down.
Well, that should be interesting, shouldn't you? Beat the boss.
Yeah. Well, he's now the hunter, and we're the prey, and he expects us to beat us. And if he ends up beating us, then he's going to have words with us. But it's fantastic working with him, and he's a really solid founder and sailor, and we've all got great respect for him. So it's just great to be involved.
The Southern Ocean, how was it there?
Southern Ocean, that was unreal. It's probably the best way to describe it. Out of Captail, we didn't have too much wind, but we knew we were going to have a lot of wind in about 2 or 3 days. And we had our first 60-knot depression that went through. So that was an eye-opener for a lot of the crew. Never been in anything more than 30 knots. But we handled it really well. The boat handled it really, really well. So that was a huge confidence boost for people that were a bit worried. But the way that we had the reefs in, and I think we had just our staysail and Yankee 3 up for the majority of that, gusting 60s, and the boat was still fast. We're still going downwind at 20 knots in that storm. So when the second storm came through, the crew was more mentally prepared, and we knew what to expect. and then the wind got even stronger than what we had before, which we were expecting gusts of 70 in the forecast, and as it turned out, we had a lot more wind than that at certain periods, out to about 110 knots at times. But once again, the crew just knew what to do. They knew that it's not as bad as you can make it out to be in your mind. And the teamwork that comes through to get a job done was really a big crew bonding experience.
You're Australian, so basically this is an Australian boat, isn't it?
Yeah, the majority of the crew is Australian. I think we've got about a 60-40 split. But I think to have a boat with just one nationality on it, you'd be at a disadvantage there. I think you need the mix, and the banter on board between the UK, the English, and the Australians really keeps us honest with each other as well. And we work really well as a team. But yeah, we are the majority Australian crew boat, and everyone loves to be a part of that, and the attitude and the sporting attitude of both countries really shows with us.
What about the male to female ratio?
We've got, once again, I think it's about a 60-40 as well. This leg that we're on now, we've probably got about 40% of the crew is female, and on the next leg it's even closer to 50%. So, but that's no problem. Everyone is trained in each role, and we try to share it out as much as we can. And everyone brings their own skill to the table. So there's never really any passengers on board the boat, and that's not what Clipper is about. It's about ordinary people doing extraordinary things, as Sir Robin would say, and it's about the challenge and the human experience as much as it is the racing.
After you finish the Hobart race, where are you off to?
Then we have a quick turnaround in Hobart, and then we're off to Brisbane, Hobart to Brisbane. So another pretty tactical race. Do you come inshore, try and stay out of the current, or do you do a big sweep and go around it? So there's a couple of decisions that may split the fleet there. Both could work depending on what the conditions are, and then that completes leg 4, and then after that leg 5 starts, and we're off to 2 races in that, Singapore and then Qingdao, China, northern China. Then we've got the monster leg, the big one, and I think it gets overlooked a lot, and I hadn't certainly thought about this passage until I was working for Clipper, but we're tackling the North Pacific Ocean, 6,000 miles to San Francisco from China, and that's going to be everything that the Southern Ocean gave us and more. So that's going to be a huge one to get across safely. And then we race down the coast to Panama, and then to Jamaica, then off to New York, Derry, Londonderry and Ireland, Northern Ireland, and then Holland, Den Helder, and back to London to complete our circumnavigation.
When do you think you'll finish?
That is in July is when we finish.
So you've got another 6 months ahead of you.
Another 6 months to go, yeah. It's all going too fast at the moment.
Well, next week it's going to be very fast for you.
Every stopover is action-packed. There's always so much work to do on the boat. The last 2 legs, we were pretty proud of ourselves in the Southern Ocean. We had very limited sail damage. A few of the other boats had completely destroyed kites. We tried that one on in leg 1 when we won, and we adjusted the way that we sail a little bit now to conserve our kit, and so we're ready for this Hobart. Sail's ready to go, just doing last minute preps now.
So my name's Tristan Grigalis. I'm around the world on PSP. Been sailing all my life pretty much. Qualified dinghy instructor, so I've got quite a few links to sailing. I suppose the reason that I'm here, my godfather actually did the first Clipper in 96-97, and he met his wife off of the back of it, so kind of hearing crazy stories about the things that they did on Clipper and some of the places that they went to, and it's kind of one of the inspirations for me. Yeah.
So where do you live in England?
I'm a bit all over the place, to be honest. I'm originally from Leicester, right in the landlocked Leicester, right in the middle of the country. Used to sail a lot on Rutland Water, and then kind of I've moved down to the south coast, and I'm living in Southbourne at the moment, where I can work at Building Society. society nationwide.
And are you going right round?
Yeah, doing the whole thing. Yeah. So another few months of it left. Yeah.
Do you stay on the same boat all the time?
Yeah, we're on PSP, so the teams were kind of allocated in May, I think it was, and they split us all up into our various boats. So we've got round the worlders and we've got leggers, and the leggers hop on and off, and some of them do more legs than one. As around the world, we kind of sat out as a core of the group, I suppose, and we try and help the leggers when they come on and do some coaching and stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So what was happening in the Southern Ocean for you?
Oh, blimey, what didn't happen in the Southern Ocean, I think, is probably more the question, eh? Yeah, we had some very, very big blows, some great pictures actually. More often than not, it was just I'm usually, I'm watch leader, and I have been since the start of leg 2. But throughout most of the big manoeuvres, when the winds got up, I was either out on the bow or kind of standing up on the boom, you know. So at those points, either kind of try and pull down the mainsail, or we had a 100-mile-an-hour blow at one point where one of the sheets broke, and we had to get the sail down and go 100 mile an hour over the deck trying to get a sail down. Even our smallest sail, the storm jib, it took us like half an hour, you know. So it's pretty tough.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. One's on. Lock that off.